Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another casted game for Age of Empires 4, a new dawn, a new era, a new DLC, but with familiar faces in terms of players. We've got in the south corner of the map Marinelord playing in purple as the Malians, and in the north, in orange, the Mista playing as the Ottomans on a new map for Age of Empires 4. This is Hideout. Welcome to Hideout. If you're aware of Age of Empires 2, this is a map that seems to have its origins on that game, and it's a really interesting one. It seems like quite a boomy type of map, but new civilizations, new maps, new metas, new strategies, lots of things to discuss, lots of things to talk about, and I'm super hyped and excited. I hope you guys are too, because these two new civilizations are going to shake up Age of Empires 4, I'm sure of that much, as we see the Mista heading out towards the gold now as the Ottomans. And I have to say, so far, I've really started to enjoy the Malians and how they play. I feel like the army composition could be very strong with the Malians if they can get those Donsos out, if they get those javelin throwers out, and add in a couple of Sotha, the cavalry units, to try and snap out mangonels. I feel like the game changer is the javelin thrower, because you see, up to now with the other civilizations, the main counters to archers have always been horsemen or man-at-arms, or get your own archers in larger numbers. The javelin thrower is a unique unit for the Malians, which is a new counter unit for the archers. So it's definitely going to change things a little bit. And a mixture of Donso and javelin throwers could be super strong, because you've got the Donso, which acts as a spearman against cavalry, which your opponent would get if they're fighting against javelin throwers. But then the javelin throwers will be good against the archers. And so Donsos and javelin throwers kind of cover all bases apart from mangonels. And you can get your Sotha, you can get your cavalry for that, or springalds maybe. But I'm super interested to see how Marinelord and the Mista play this one out. And I have casted another game with these two players, with these civilizations, so if you haven't checked it out, do think about checking it out. I'll leave it at the end card of this video, at the end of this video. I'll drop a link to it. It was a good game that we saw on Oasis, a new map for Age of Empires 4. As we see Twin Minaret Medrese being built here by the Mista. The unique landmark for the Ottomans acts as a mill and grows 4 berry bushes, which can then be harvested 50% faster. Berry bushes are regrown after 120 seconds if depleted. Now, I wonder whether the 50% berry bush harvesting increase is specifically these berry bushes, or whether it's the neutral ones as well. Like, do we have other berry bushes? We have other berry bushes. I don't think it is. We'll have to check that, and if anyone knows in the chat, do let me know. But I suspect it's just these berry bushes that get picked 50% faster, but that is a large increase in gathering rate, to be fair. Just a question in the chat by Yusuf, saying, I hope the Ottomans can be having the horse archer, or at least a unique horse archer type unit. Now, I haven't seen one so far, so I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not sure that they do. Of course, we haven't seen too much of the civilizations just yet, so maybe they do. We'll have to have a look, but it doesn't seem like they do so far. They do get knights. We've seen that much. I think we focused quite a lot on the Malians in the last casted game, so maybe we'll focus a bit more on the Ottomans today in this game. We'll check that out for you. We'll find out sooner or later. I'll just hover over a stable and see what units they can make. Or an archery range, actually. It would be an archery range, wouldn't it? As we see the Mansa Quarry being the economic landmark of choice for the Marinelord, playing as the Malians. Going for this landmark will get you 75 gold per minute, and it can also be toggled to generate stone instead, and this is quite a nice bonus because it's equivalent of having a bolst of 2 villagers almost. A villager can pretty much gather 40 resources per minute, and so 75 is just underneath that in terms of having 2 villagers. It's going to be a second town centre out of Marinelord here. And you might be wondering, why is he building all the houses around the pit mine? Well, for a very good reason. If you hover over here, what does it say? It says the gold extraction rate of the open pit mines is increased by 30% for each house or mining camp built within the influence. Oh, that's super interesting. So, I mean, he could probably fit another 2 houses there. I wonder whether the influence can be extended. I suspect it can't. Otherwise, you could get pretty crazy amounts of gold coming in, I suspect, eventually. Ooh, we see a couple of Sipahi coming out from the stable. Let's take a look at the stable units at least. Sipahi, Fast cavalry effective at raiding, flanking, and countering ranged units. Has the ability to attack faster whilst also taking additional damage from melee sources. High movement speed, strong against ranged units, weak against melee units, countered by spearmen. Okay, so this is interesting because I quite like the look of this. It looks like they're pretty decent against ranged units, and they're going to be good for raiding because they're quite fast. So quite nice for the early game, I suspect. They get the knight, they get a scout, and they also get the meta. It's kind of a unique unit for the Ottomans. It's a support unit, really. That'd be cool. Second town center coming out here for marinelord. Let's just see what the Sipahi is up to here. Heading towards the town center. Going to be trying to take out some of these villages. Doesn't lose all that much HP underneath the town center. Oh, it does actually. It does actually lose quite a bit of HP because the villagers garrison there for a second. Back to full screen now. I like the cinematic mode at times. Oh, archery range, archery range. This is what we want to see. They get crossbows, they get archers, they get the janissary. So no, they don't seem to get any horse archer type units, but they get the janissary. This is pretty cool. I want to see some of these. Powerful infantry, effective against cavalry, and can repair siege engines. Wait a minute. These guys can repair siege engines. It's not just villagers now. So often you see villagers being pulled to repair like a mangonel or a bombard or something like that, trebuchet. The janissaries can do it, and the key bit of that is that you don't have to pull villagers anymore. Janissaries will be part of your army, they'll be with your siege, and they can repair it. That's so cool. High damage, bonus damage against cavalry, high cost though. Slow movement speed, receives 50% range damage. Okay, that's pretty disastrous. If you've got archers out there, you're gonna have to be worried about those. But imagine getting janissaries and sipahi. Like the Sipahi can be good against ranged units. So if you go Janissary and your opponent gets ranged units like archers, your Sipahi should be able to deal with that. But then they'll go like Donso, and you got another problem on your hand. But then the Janissary should be good against the Donso, really. See a couple of scouts, or wait, Sipahi actually trying to raid and destroy that mill. See a cow coming out here for the Malians. It's actually quite bad to lose your mill there, because it's not just the fact that it's a drop-off point. It's the fact this is the building that produces your cows. The scout coming up for the Malians. Just to harass those villagers on stone. We see Mr. aiming for a second town center as well. But getting some raiding damage out. One village is not going to be enough here, you feel. There's like a couple normal villagers are hiding out. There's a javelin throw though. Ooh. The mist doesn't commit. He doesn't commit to that villager. Gonna try and torch it down though as much as he can. Yeah, that won't be staying up. Bye bye mill. And it's not just the drop-off point that's denied, it's not so much the berries, because to be honest with you, if you're marinelord, you don't necessarily have to be reliant on the berries, but what you are reliant on are the cows. So he's forced into building another mill there. So nice raiding there by the Sipahi for the Ottomans. As we now see the Ottomans heading in towards a second town centre, the Mista, looking to build up on that economy. 37 villages for marinelord, 32 for Mista. Mista lagging behind a little bit, but nothing that's not recoverable. Oh, I want to see the Mustafa Ghana. That's the Imperial Age. Powerful ranged infantry, effective at ambush attacks. Increased movement speed, can enter stealth. High damage, high cost. I mean, the thing about the Mustafa Ghana is that these guys could just kind of, if you're not walled up as the Ottomans, you could just walk into your base really to a woodline and just deploy and then kill a load of villagers if they're not seen. But what I have come to understand in terms of game mechanics, you can get outposts and they can be revealed by scouts. So it's not like they're completely stealth. They can be seen, it appears. Couple of javelin throws being masked up by marinelord, Sipahi. Gonna kill that scout. And the Sipahi is pretty fast here. 1.62 tiles per second is the scout speed. 1.88, so the scout definitely wouldn't be able to run away. Now I believe the horseman is about 1.76 if I'm not mistaken. This is possibly even faster than a horseman. Is this the fastest cavalry in the game? I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to double check what the horseman speed is like. Bruno, welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. So the new DLC is not fully out, but it's in a public update preview. So we get a preview of the game. It's pretty much, as you can see, it's pretty finished. There's a few missing touches though. So for the villagers, you can hear what they're saying. They're saying the same words and phrases that the English civilization would. So that's something that's missing from this update or this patch so far. That's something obviously the developers are going to be working on prior to the release. So the actual full release of the DLC will be in October, completely free, by the way, for people who already own the game, which is pretty spectacular. I mean, it wouldn't have been unreasonable for Microsoft to charge for it, but they're not. It's completely free. As we see, 2 military schools passively generating or producing their army, which is kind of nice. It's going for Sipahi. And I quite like this about the Ottomans, because what this allows the Ottomans to do, it allows them to boom up, as you can see, the Mista doing just that, getting another 3rd town centre, and he can continue to produce military. It doesn't have to spend any money for it. That is pretty cool. Has the matchup appeared one-sided at all, or even amongst the two civs? First of all, welcome Jimmy. Hope you're doing well. So, it doesn't seem like it so far. I've only seen about 4 or 5 games though. It does seem like the Malians are pretty strong. It is a bit too early to tell. And the only reason why I say that the Malians are pretty strong is because they have a really interesting unit, the javelin thrower. Because archers, the reason why I say it's very interesting is because traditionally most civilizations have similar counters, right? So for example, counters to archers would be man-at-arms, horsemen, mangonels. But the javelin thrower is a new counter unit that's specific to the Malians that counters archers. And if you put Donso in there as well, like the equivalent of spearmen for the Malians, so Donso and javelin throwers together as an army composition pretty much covers everything, apart from siege. Obviously mangonels would be a bit of a disaster, but add a couple of anti-siege with a couple of springalds maybe, a couple of cavalry units of your own, and it should be okay. So I feel like Malians will be pretty strong, but too early to tell, to be totally honest with you, Jimmy. But time will tell. But I do like, this is one of my favourite units now, that's for sure, the javelin thrower, because they've got such long range as well, and they're doing a lot of damage to the scout. I mean, the scouts aren't particularly tanky anyway, but it's an anti-range specialist. But look at the range on these guys, 10 ranged. Now I don't know how much range a longbowman has, but this is a lot, guys. I don't know if anyone in the chat can let me know how much range a longbowman has, but 10 range seems like a lot. I'm pretty excited about the Malians. I mean, the Ottomans look pretty cool as well, though. They've got such cool game mechanics. That's what's exciting me about this game so far at the moment. The military school constantly producing those units, albeit slowly. But I have to say I'm very, very impressed with this new DLC. Or at least the public update preview. And from an immersion perspective, I mean, the buildings look really, really nice. The skins look really, really nice. The character of these buildings is really cool, and I think the fact that they've got things like this, small touches like this, cows instead of the repetitive sheep. What I would love to see in the full update on the full DLC is the audio being updated, obviously, which will be coming for the units. The language being updated. That will really add to the immersion of the game, I feel. Yeah, me too, Jimmy. I mean, you guys do know you can play this, right? Like, it's not just for content creators. The public update preview is for everyone. If you have Age of Empires 4. I hope you guys know that. Let me know in the chat if you've only just found that now, because let me know if you've only just found out the fact that you can play this now. You can play the Civilisations now, if you so wish to. If you have Steam anyway. I'm not sure if you have it on Microsoft though. I don't know about Microsoft Store. I don't think so if you have it on Microsoft Store. I think it might be early on Steam. But yeah. We'll see another military school coming out for the Mista. I wonder how much the military school costs. 150 wood, 100 stone. Oh, that's an interesting mechanic. That's very interesting. And the reason why that's super interesting, guys, is because if you play Age of Empires 4 competitively, what you'll often do is you want to scout your opponent. How many villages do they have in stone? Are they opting for a second town centre? But, you know, usually if you're getting stone early on in the game, it's only going to be because of a town centre, right? Unless you want to get emplacements like arrow slits on your outposts, but you don't often tend to do that. And so, really, if you see your opponent on stone now, and they're playing the Ottomans, there could be 3 things that they're opting for. They could be opting for a town centre, they could be opting for an emplacement, they could be opting for the military schools. And obviously, you got the aspect of the keep as well, but the keep is obviously in the castle age, so early on in scouting, you know, your opponent is not going to be going for keeps. As we see a massive horde of veteran Sipahi coming on the right side, led by 2 knights there. They're heading forward. The Ottomans looking to get some value, and they might just do so. Will that villager make it in time with the palisade walls? I'm not so sure. I think the Ottomans might have a window of opportunity to get in here. I think he gets in. The mist are going to break through. The villager not going to make it in time, and she's done so much hard work to get the palisade walls up. But will the mister notice? Will he keep it open? He does. A couple of Sipahi get pulled off, and it's going to be taken out of the villager. But the villager should be able to wall this up, though. I suspect... Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Marinelord didn't notice. Holy moly. Marinelord getting a massive raid of his own, though. Look at the north. There's lots of javelin throwers and donsos as well. We talked about this earlier in the game. This army composition is a bit difficult to deal with. Donso and javelin throwers. Seems a bit crazy to me. The mist is going to need some siege here. He's going to need something to deal with this. Because he can't... You see, because the combination of archers and spearmen in an army, if this was archers and spearmen, your opponent would just need to get mass archers himself, just outnumber, and it would take this apart. But because he's getting javelin throwers, it's very hard to counter this. And we're going to get a forward keep drop here from Marinelord, as we do see a bit more of a raiding by the Sipahi, trying to get some value here, mister, but he's going to be taken out by the spearmen. And it looks like the Sipahi are all dead. A couple of the Sipahi here, but just a quick word on this blacksmith. The reason why it's here is because I believe this is influencing something. Wait. Maybe not. No, I think it's a different mechanic. Oh, toll outpost. Traders and trade ships that pass by toll outposts instantly provide bonus resources. Oh, it's like an outpost. Oh, that's interesting. So it's kind of like an outpost that can have some bonuses as well. That's super interesting. Kind of like the Yam network speed as well for the outpost for the Mongols. Sacred Site in the north has been camped by the Mista, but looking to be decamped by the Marinelord. Getting that keep help on the west side. It doesn't seem like the Mista can deal with this. He spotted it. He knows this is there. He's not engaging just yet. Oh no, he doesn't know it's there. He doesn't have a clue. Wow, the sight range on these guys are terrible. He just doesn't see it. It's just out of range, guys. Oh, he's going to find out the hard way. He's going to know it's there now. Yeah, he spots it now. Holy moly. This is such a strong staging ground now for Marinelord to push out from. Got some warrior scouts. Javelin throwers going to be taking care of this. Or, wait, Donso actually. These guys are Donso. Yeah, Marinelord just heading back towards the keep. Going to be chilling out there. Guys, can we just get an appreciation for this keep? How good it looks at the moment. I feel like the Malians, for me, as a civilization, they look so good. The buildings look so good. You see a bit of raiding here by Sipahi, but they'll be taken down by the Donso that's there. But to be fair, the Ottomans buildings are pretty nice as well. They're a little bit futuristic, I feel. Like, it just feels like it's a bit more ahead of the time. The Malians look a bit more raw. Very nice textures on these graphics, I feel. A couple of villages in the gold mine there, going to be pulled towards the town centre. Trouble for the Mista is how does he deal with this? Yeah, this is not a position that you feel like the Mista can win. Because really the only army that counters the Donso and the Javelin throwers is going to be Mangonels, and well, guess what Marinelord is getting? He's getting Springalds. Yep, Yusuf has mentioned a really key point so far in the live stream and the games I've casted so far. If both players or both civilizations, we haven't seen them too much in the Imperial Age. And this is a strong push by Marinelord, and I suspect we won't see the Imperial Age again, because how does the Mista counter this? The Javelin throwers are the MVP here. Javelin throwers are actually doing pretty high damage to the Sipahi. The Sipahi can't engage against the Donso, they have to pull back, but the archers aren't going to get too much damage. You feel like Mista has to take down those Donso, and then the Sipahi can engage, but the problem is those Donsos are large in numbers, and the archers have been countered by the Javelin throwers. Marinelord just heads back a little bit, doesn't want to engage too quickly. The Donso on the front lines, the Sipahi taking an unfavourable fight, and there's I don't know what that was a big explosion. It might have been the trebuchet. Holy moly. Mangonel comes out from Marinelord as well. This could be a big disaster here for the Mista if he's not paying attention to the Mangonel. Mangonel just about to start firing off, you feel. Javelin throws and Donso heading forward again from Marinelord. There's a Mangonel, takes a big shot. And that is the Mangonel fire. We see an updated animation to the Mangonels in the siege. Actually looks really good. You can see the boulders firing up. I absolutely love this update that's going on for Age of Empires 4 right now. And this fight is heading to an energy field. The Mista struggling to hold on. Mangonel and Springald in behind. Donso and the Javelin throws. Sipahi almost over. The Sipahi are being killed as soon as they pop out. There is a Mangonel on the field though for the Mista. Don't forget there's that Springald that might be looking to focus fire on that Mangonel. The Mista will have to be careful not to lose that Mangonel. Oh, that was a big fight there. There was a big destruction. A lot of those archers so weak on health. A huge Mangonel shot. Oh, wow. Wow. I think that was the game just there. What a huge Mangonel shot there for Marinelord. Taking out at least 15 to 20 archers there from the Mista. And Mista's left answerless, you feel, as his mosque is on flames. The relics are going to pop out and Mista is under so much pressure here. The Mangonels taking out villages as well, almost doing so. And the pressure really mounting up with 2 trebuchets behind from Marinelord. Marinelord looking to seal the deal. The Mista struggling. The Ottomans under siege from the Malians. Trying to hold off for as long as he can with a couple of Sipahi. The Sipahi charge into the Donso with one last attack. And they get shredded to pieces. The Donso taking those Sipahi and most likely the game as Marinelord edges closer towards the base for Marinelord. For the Mista rather. The capital town centre will be the next landmark to be taken down, as the town centre there being under siege from the 2 trebuchets with the proxy base military coming out in large numbers. Veteran javelin throwers coming out for Marinelord. Marinelord doesn't need the Imperial Age, it seems. He's going for a full Castle Age push, and this push is disastrous for the Ottomans. Buildings have been burnt down, and the Malians looking to seal this game. Marinelord strong on the front lines. 2 trebuchets still there for the Mista, trying to hold on for as long as he can. With Marinelord fully walled up at home, the pressure is certainly mounting for the Ottomans, and that pressure is too much to handle because the Mista does tap out, with the Malians taking the victory today on Hideout. I hope you guys enjoyed this casted game, and if you did, do give it a thumbs up. I've got plenty more Age of Empires 4 content coming up for you for the new DLC, the new civilisations. So if you haven't watched the casted game already, that's appearing on your screen right now. Click that end card screen to get to that video. Otherwise, I shall see you next time.